Welcome to the Shannon Acheson Show, real business talk for real life. I'm Shannon, creative business coach, digital product lover, and your strategy sidekick. I've built a business that fits my life, and now I help other women do the same. No hustle, no fluff, just smart, honest conversations about building a business that works for you. Let's dive in. Hello and welcome back to the show. Today I am so excited to have Britt here. Hey Britt, thanks for coming on and welcome to the Shannon Acheson Show.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm so glad we could finally get this sort of on the books and meet face to face. Let's sort of start from the beginning. If you can just tell us a bit about yourself. I love this so much more. Initially, when I started recording these, I would read people's like professional bio, but I feel like everybody loves to hear it so much more from the person themselves. So tell us a bit about yourself and what you're doing online right now.
Yeah, well, I live in Nashville. I have an entrepreneur husband as well, so the business ownership just kind of runs in our little family. We have a 5-month-old son, so first time mom over here. And I've been in the online space for a couple years now, but right now I've really been focusing on digital marketing. I'm an online business coach and I help other coaches and service providers market their digital products or their services and really focusing in on systems, automations, and creating leverage within your business so you're not just glued to your phone all the time or constantly on that content hamster wheel. You know, we didn't all sign up to be content creators, right? We run in a business and we have things to do within the business. So really just teaching people how to work smarter, not harder for their marketing.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I love that so much. I actually did start out as a content creator running a blog. So,
Okay.
but over time it got more and more and more complicated. So as many systems as I've been able to implement in the last few years, I'll take it, like
Yes.
hands down for sure. Okay, so what were you doing before this? You said you've been online for a couple of years, but I'm pretty sure you weren't always doing the exact same thing before.
No, my journey has been all over the place.
Yeah.
So originally, I was very interested in e-commerce. I had an online boutique
Okay.
for about a year or so. And that was a giant learning curve. I had a women's accessories brand. I loved it. I learned so much. And honestly, I'm grateful for that experience because I wouldn't have learned ads and really kind of gone that route had I not started with physical products. And long story short, I started selling on TikTok Shop. I don't know how familiar you are with TikTok, but they have their own seller
Yeah.
platform, TikTok Shop. They're basically trying to compete with Amazon. But
Mm.
I started on there. It was very serendipitous God timing because I started on there right when TikTok Shop hit the US. And so
Okay.
they were really favoring videos that had shop products linked to them. They were really favoring sellers. So my business just exploded by me just utilizing that platform, I think,
Yeah.
and trying to emulate what some of the other creators were doing. And that was just the wild, wild west. I mean, it was so fun and so stressful all at the same time. And I was ordering inventory and not, I'm like, I've never done this before. I don't know how much inventory to order. I was
Right.
experimenting with lives. I was experimenting with ads. I was posting videos. I was just like doing it all and having a blast. I ended up getting to a point in my business with that. I was doing some drop shipping as well, but
Mm.
most of my profits were from actually, you know, it's harder to have good profit margins when you're just drop shipping.
Yeah.
And you get more autonomy with your brand too. But anyway, I was getting to a point in my business where I couldn't scale it. I mean, there was inventory all over our bedroom. It was a hot mess. Like something had to change. And I was spending hours a day packaging orders. I was like, this is a great problem to have, but where do we go from here? You know,
Right.
I can't keep doing it the way that I've been doing it. I don't really want to go to a warehouse every day or an office space. Like I wanted to be a mom. I wanted to stay home. I wanted to hang out with my dogs at my house. I don't want to
Yeah.
hire people. I don't want to have to go have a warehouse. Like, how do I scale this? And at the same time, I was seeing a lot of the online world kind of changing towards done for you digital products,
Mm.
digital marketing. And it just blew my mind that people were buying these courses, buying these products, and then there was no fulfillment afterward. I was like, automatic fulfillment. I can't even imagine a world where I wouldn't have to like spend hours, packaging everything. And that was just very, very appealing to me at the time.
Mm.
So I was kind of experimenting with that a little bit. I started a separate TikTok for digital marketing and talking about just making money online. I was doing the whole master resale rights, if you've heard of some of those courses that were really popular at the time. So I was hopping on that trend.
Yeah.
Um,
Can we
I,
just, sorry.
yeah,
So I hate to interrupt, but just
no,
in case some of my audience doesn't know what that is, because I know what it is and you know what it is, but what does that look like? What is master resale rights? Like, what does that look like?
great question. So it is a done for you digital product or digital course that you have whenever you purchase it, you have the licensing rights to resell it to someone else as your own product, but you get 100% of the profit. So
Right.
it's a little bit different from like an affiliate marketing or being an affiliate for a product. You only get a percentage of that commission. With this, you technically own the product. Now you can't change it or
Hmm.
rebrand it, but you can resell it so you don't have to create it. It's a really great step for beginners who have never created a course before because I know how intimidating that can feel. So it was very appealing to people who were just getting started, and
Hmm.
you can kind of learn while you earn, so to
Hmm.
speak. You can learn how to do digital marketing because that was the majority of these master resale rights courses
Right.
about how to learn and market, but you can also earn the full
Right.
commission.
And so you said it's different from affiliate marketing because with affiliate marketing, the person who created it still gets a portion of the profits when you sell it, but you get a portion of it. With master resale rights, you pay like to buy that, like you buy into that course, correct? And then you also have the option to sell it, not just like learn from it.
Correct. Yep.
Right.
You
Okay.
can learn from it or you can turn around and sell it kind of
Okay.
as your own product, essentially.
Okay. Yeah. So good option for someone who's like, well, I want to test this, but I don't know what I'm doing and I don't necessarily want to build a course. But then the flip side of that, because you've moved away from that now, right? So the flip
Mhm.
side of that is what? What made you move away from that?
Well, I think I posted 100 days on TikTok and made like maybe one sale from
Mm,
Master Resale Rights, and that's fine. It was like a brand new account, and
mm-hmm.
I didn't know what I was doing. I was still, it's very different making content for a personal brand versus physical products. I mean, it's just a
Yes.
completely different world. So I was just experimenting. And I just had this idea, because I did want to eventually create my own products. I just didn't really know like what it would be about. And I was like,
Mm,
well, I could teach other people how to sell on TikTok Shop.
right.
That's what I know a lot about. I was already having people DM me all the time asking me to help set up their shop. And I was taking a couple coaching calls for TikTok Shop at the time too. So I was pretty in tune with what people were wanting and asking. So I was like, I could just put this in a guide. So I
Mm,
just had that wild hair idea and
yeah.
ran with it. So I put together this little $37 ebook, and I spent about 3 weeks. This was not like a well thought out launch at all. I didn't know what I was doing. I just started making videos about TikTok Shop that would be appealing to beginners. And those videos started to do really well because I guess a lot of people were searching for it.
Mm,
TikTok is a lot like a search engine similar to
hmm.
YouTube
Yeah.
or Pinterest where people go in and type things in. So those videos were popping up a lot. And within those first couple weeks, just talking about it and also kind of teasing my guide, I got a couple hundred people on the wait list.
Okay.
And then I launched that product beginning of 2024. And it did extremely well. I mean, it just popped off within the first day,
Hmm.
and then it just kept going and going. So that's kind of how I got my start, like creating my own digital products, was just
Yeah.
thinking about what could how can I leverage my own experience and expertise? And then over time, I mean, I was still selling those master resale rights courses through the
Okay.
majority of 2024, or at
Okay.
least like halfway through 2024. I was doing both.
Okay.
But I noticed that every time that I had something that was my own, it was more sought after because it was original. And I knew the master resale rights was more of a trend, and
Mm,
the longevity of my business was not going to be sustainable just off of those products. So I did hit a point where I was like, yeah, I need to be thinking more long term for my business. And where do I see this going in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years down the road? It's probably not selling someone else's product. It's
right.
probably creating a strong personal brand and starting to leverage, my own knowledge. And I
Yeah.
started to get more confident too as I
Mhm.
was doing this, and more confident in helping people and creating my own things.
Yeah. Yeah, practicing that and being online all the time and learning from it, right? Like
Yes.
um so I have a question too. Like I know at one point you mentioned, if I scroll way back in your Instagram, there was you were talking about faceless marketing. Is that what you were doing at the same time as the master resale rights? Was that like sort of together and then you decided, okay, no, personal brand is going to work better?
Yeah, I was kind of
Okay.
doing like a million different things at once.
Fair. No,
There
totally
was
fair.
actually a point in time I had like two, like I had a regular Instagram account and a faceless account. I was trying to
Okay.
do all the things and
Yeah.
was spread very thin. Last year was a lot of like, let's throw spaghetti at the wall and just
Yeah.
see what happens. So yeah, my Instagram that you're on right now, if you scroll way back,
Way
you'll
back.
see it did start as a faceless account. And that was fun. It was appealing to me at the time because I was like, oh, I don't have to film. I could just use these really fun B-roll videos. And then I started noticing that everyone was using the same content banks. It was really hard to find original content that
Right.
stood out. Like it's not as easy as you might think. It's
Yeah,
actually a
I
little
think
bit harder in some
yeah.
ways because you can't just throw up your phone and talk to the camera, which is one of my strengths. So
Right.
I was noticing it was actually taking me longer to create content, and I'm not like a Canva wizard, right? I noticed
Okay.
the girls that were doing really well were just making things extremely aesthetic. They had all the fun fonts and everything,
Right.
picture perfect on their stories, and I was like, man, this is kind of harder.
And it takes a
I
lot of time to put all that together, right? Like you figure
Yes.
like there's a lot of like positioning and words and fun like
So
my
many words.
long ago background is graphic design, so I'm decent at that, but like it's a lot.
It's a lot. People
Yeah.
don't realize that it is just as much time, sometimes more
Yeah.
time. And
Yeah.
then on top of that, I wasn't able to repurpose the content that I was creating for my TikTok because my TikTok was all just talking to camera videos.
Right.
It's like, man, I want to just post on these. So it really got to a point where I was like, I am creating so much more work for
Mm,
myself. My faceless account isn't just like taking off like I thought it would. It's not as easy
right.
as everyone was claiming. So why don't I just bite the bullet and turn this into a regular account? That way I have one Instagram, one TikTok. It'll be easy to
Yeah.
repurpose and just focus on
Yeah.
my personal brand.
So you really focus on what was going to make the ROI be better, right? Like and the return on your
Yes.
time, like
Yes,
of what you were doing. No,
absolutely.
that's fair.
Because
So,
I was also still running my accessories brand at the
oh
time too.
goodness.
So I was like, okay, this is way too many things.
Yeah, that's a
My
lot.
brain hurts.
Yeah, that's a lot. But there are times in business where you kind of have to. And I hate to say this as someone who's like, no, pick your lane, do your thing. But it's like sometimes you do have to throw spaghetti at the wall to see what's working and go, okay, nope, nope. Oh, this is doing well. Like you have to experiment and you have to try and you have to keep trying, especially if, say, you're doing that and none of it's working and you just have to keep persevering. Not that that's
That's
the
the
case
most
with you, but I think in
important.
general.
Yeah, I mean that's like the biggest lesson for anyone out there, at the in the weeds at the beginning of their business, being like, what am I doing? You have to just be fearless and keep going and follow the random ideas that you get. Some will work, some will not work the way you think they will, but they'll lead to the thing that does. And it's
True.
all just about pivoting and having the perspective of failure is just feedback. Maybe you've heard that
Hmm.
before. It might
Yeah.
sound cheesy, but it is so true because it's easy to be like, "Oh, that didn't work, so I'm a failure," or "I'm
Right.
not cut out for this," or there's a lot of stories that we can tell ourselves around
True.
these things. So we have to be really careful how we look at the whole journey, you
It's
know?
true. And the reminder is really good sometimes too, right? Because if you've been in the weeds for a while, it can be really hard to pull yourself back out, right? And be like, no, no. I
Yeah.
know this. It's okay. It's just feedback. It's just learning.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
when I first, this is one of my favorite kind of stories to tell because I wish more, I had heard more um, just business owners opening up about the very beginning of their journey because I didn't really start my business before I quit my job, my like
Mm,
9 to 5 job. I just always wanted to be an entrepreneur and it kind of, there was other things going on at my current job that weren't really aligning. So, I was kind of seeing the end of the road there, and my husband really, he just, I have to give him all the credit because he basically, he's like, you just should quit, like, just do it. He's like the most optimistic, supportive person
yeah.
ever. And I'm like,
Yeah.
really? I should just do it? He's like, yeah, we'll just live off my income for a couple months. I'm sure you'll figure it out. So, and I was like, why not now? We didn't have
Mm,
kids yet then. It's like the stakes weren't
yeah.
that high. Like I was like, okay, worst case scenario, we drain some of our savings and I'll go find a job or whatever. We'll figure it
Right.
out.
Right.
So I just quit cold turkey. And the first 6 months, I failed and failed and failed and failed.
Mm,
I didn't even start my accessories brand that blew up until 6 months into my journey.
yeah.
And so, for anyone that's failing or just experiencing a lot of that uphill battle in the front end, just know like you're not alone. It takes
Mm.
a lot. I don't think people realize. And I look back, I'm like, if I had known how hard this was going to be, I don't know if I would have done it in the beginning, you know?
Yeah.
You just don't
Yeah.
know how long it's going to take. But
Yeah.
truly, if you don't give up, like success is inevitable in some way. It will probably just surprise you how it will come into fruition. But
It's true. It's true. And you say that, and like 6 months, like looking backwards over the course of a lifetime, like doesn't seem like a lot, but like when you're in that, it's like, oh my gosh, like really? Is
a
this
lot.
okay? Yeah. So no, that's true. And just keep going. Like that's kind of like the one of the definitions of being an entrepreneur, right? You just keep going.
Yes, you
Yeah.
have to love the game.
Yeah.
I kind of see it as like a video game, and
Okay.
it's fun for me. I try to keep it playful because there are just a lot of failures and things that don't work. So it can
Yeah.
get discouraging if you don't keep it light and don't take everything so seriously. But it's not for everyone. You do
No.
have to love the game and the grit and kind of the self-development piece of it.
Yes, all the time. All the time, the self development,
Yes.
right? Because, yeah, like your mind, not just your skills, but like your mindset and how you think about things. Like it's constant learn. I feel like people who love to learn are really good entrepreneurs because
Hmm.
it never stops, like ever, especially online. I feel like, yeah, no, that's
Never
awesome.
stops.
Okay. Um, Did you ever feel like pressure to try like whatever paths were proven, like whether that's Reels or blogging or YouTube, even when they didn't feel like you, or you were always good to do what you kind of wanted to do?
Oh, definitely felt pressure. I mean, I think that's why I started faceless marketing is I just
Mm,
saw people being successful with it. And I also am just a little bit more introverted and at the time was kind of scared to put myself out there as a personal brand, even though what I was doing on TikTok, for some reason Instagram felt a little more intimidating. And I had,
mm.
friends and family on Instagram. I feel like TikTok, I could just like be this alter ego person. I don't know.
Right? Yeah.
So I definitely struggled with the visibility piece of it. And
Mm,
I think faceless marketing is the best example of that, of feeling the pressure of like, oh, I need to do it this way because people are having success with it, even though that was not geared toward my talent is not in graphic design and making
mhm.
the text look pretty. My talent is connecting with
Right.
people and talking, and I didn't get to do any of that.
Yeah.
So I learned that, over the course of a couple months, but sometimes you have to try things that aren't aligned to figure out that they're not aligned.
So true. Yes. Very, very, very true. Okay, so with all of that, when did you decide to create and so you did the TikTok, the shop's guide, like that. But then when did you? My exposure to you actually was Instagram, and it was low ticket launch code. So
Mhm.
when did that come into play? When did you sort of what inspired that offer, and when did you start with that one?
I started with that one towards the end of last year.
Okay.
So basically, I had a lot of decisions to make in my business last year because I was feeling a little bit burnt out from
Mhm.
TikTok Shop for a variety of reasons. That was kind of a whole nother can of worms. But
Okay.
I was like, I can't be doing all of this. Like, I need to, if I stop my accessories brand, that means eventually I have to stop coaching TikTok Shop because it's not fair to be coaching on
Mm,
something that you're not actively doing, especially TikTok Shop because it's changing so
right.
much. So I was like, okay, I need to just stop this brand, go all in on digital products, go all in on digital marketing. It's time to leave the nest of master resale rights. And like I had to really do some hard stops. And that was a really tough decision to make because I just found out that I was pregnant.
Mm,
And even though like that was totally planned, there is
yeah.
still that moment of like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be a mom. Okay, like let me try to get all my ducks in the row. Like, how
Yeah.
are we going to do this? I already felt spread thin with time, so
Hmm.
that was one of the biggest catalysts too of like I felt like I had this hourglass timer, dropping sand, and I was running out of time before this baby got here to really like launch my own offer suite. I was starting from scratch. Really, I stopped selling my TikTok shop guide, I stopped my accessories brand, and I stopped master resale rights almost
Hmm.
within the same couple months. So
Right.
I was really pivoting hard, and
Yeah.
I was like, I need to cut my losses because yeah, I might take a little income hit, but I know that I have the skill sets. Like I know my gut's telling me this is the direction that I need to do, and I need to think long term and just trust myself. But that was very difficult to do.
Yeah.
And I was also really sick
Oh
last summer
no.
in first trimester, so there was a few months
Yeah.
there that I was like basically bedridden.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what I did, what I always do, I was think like, okay, how can I help people based on what I've learned? And
Hmm.
at that point, I had a lot of experience selling courses, creating my own guide, selling that. I was already like experimenting with ads with some of the done for you products, and I was like, man, I could maybe just put this all together.
Hmm.
So that's kind of how low ticket launch code started of okay, my expertise is kind of in low ticket digital products. So let me teach people how to create their own digital product based on their passions and their expertise.
Yeah.
Show them how to package that up in a way that is sellable, that's positioned correctly, people will actually want to buy, and then show them how to use a simple low ticket funnel to sell it. And if they want to
Hmm.
sell their higher ticket things on the back end, so I was doing done for you funnels at the time too, and started coaching for digital marketing and digital products. So that was kind of my back end offers. And I ran that. I mean, I still run that funnel to this
Yeah.
day. Like
Yeah.
it's made me over six figures since starting it, and it's just been an incredible learning experience too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I've noticed, ads kind of just amplifies whatever you're doing. So um, I learned very quickly the type of people that I was attracting, the questions that they had. Um, so just doing that funnel for a long time gave me the runway to optimize correctly and just really figure out like what is that sweet spot offer for people going through this and
Right.
what do they want.
Right.
So that's kind of how I started Low Ticket Launch Code, and now that was kind of the launch pad for my online business coaching
Yeah.
and really pivoting.
Yeah. So, so low ticket launch code and your TikTok shop thing, like, so for me, I think, a low ticket offer, like, I love low ticket offers. I've used them for years on my other business, Homemade Lovely, and everything from courses to workbooks to like all the things. And I think what I've learned in that time really is like each one, regardless of whatever, if you start with one and add on later, but like they need to solve like one specific problem. So like your TikTok shop one, like that was one specific thing. People needed to learn how to do that. Low ticket launch code was okay, now create this product and get ads running to it as fast as possible. I think it's like low ticket launch codes, like start to finish, like 5 days, get it done, right?
Yeah, it's a 7-day
Okay,
program.
7. Sorry. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just to get people out of their head and like
Yeah.
just doing it.
It's true.
Like yeah, I'll tell you what to do every day. Yeah, some days
Yeah.
are a little bit more work than others, but like people just really take forever. Some of it's just mind games too, or just not making it a priority. But
Yeah,
part of the point is like get it out there and
it's
then,
true.
yeah, and then start to refine.
It's true. It's so true. Because like I said, I've been in the blogging world for like 15 years. And so, like, for us and a lot of the bloggers I know, like, our revenue actually came from ads on our site, right? So we got paid for having ads on our site. And so when Google started changing traffic stuff, that changed. And so now a lot of bloggers are like, okay, now what? Now how do I do it? Excuse me. And it's like, well, have an offer, sell something, solve a problem for your people. You already have the people. Like, this is the crazy thing too. And so, yeah, so I'm a huge fan of like low ticket offers because they're a super great starting point to test out where things are, like what your people are looking for. They don't take as much work as a ginormous course because trust me, I've built a couple of those
Yes.
too, right? And so it's a really great, like, I loved like your low ticket lunch code was great. Like, it was laid out so well.
Thank you.
Um, okay, so let me see. So did you start with that with ads like right from the beginning when you launched low ticket launch code? Sorry.
Yes, I did start with ads right from the
Okay.
beginning.
Yeah.
And it was crazy how, like, looking back, because I didn't immediately start with ads for my TikTok shop guide.
Yeah.
And it took me 4 months to hit, a 5-figure month with just organic on TikTok. And it took me 30 days with ads. And
Yeah.
so it just goes to show like the power of ads when things are set up correctly and you really have an offer that people want. But yeah, I started with ads right from the get-go because I was like, well, first of all, I can't be teaching this if I'm not doing it
Yes.
in real
Fair.
time.
Fair.
But also like I gotta get my business back and going. Like I didn't have any offers. So
That
I
timer.
kind of
Yes.
like, fire under my booty a little bit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I
And
need
ads
to do
amplify
it.
it so
It's time to
much.
get the cash flow coming in again.
Yeah. Yeah. And so then you also have another course, Atomic Ads. So how is that different from what's taught like in the first course?
It is a lot more in depth. So
Okay.
it's for people. So low ticket launch code does show you how to launch the product, but it doesn't really go through in depth how to optimize, how to really go in and run your business like a business with
Okay.
ads. And so the Atomic Ads has extra lessons on how to scale. It has a lot of extra resources too. There's like a whole
Mm.
business calculator, profits calculator, really shows you like for the long term how to incorporate ads in your business instead of just like here's the launch setup,
Yes.
on
Yeah.
your way because that really wasn't the main point for low ticket launch code. And I was just getting a lot of questions from that offer about people wanting to learn more about ads. And I
Mm.
was learning so much from running that funnel. So it was just kind of the natural next step of like,
Yeah.
let me put this all together and really support people wanting to make ads an integral part of their business.
Yeah. Yeah. Logical next step. That's very
Yes.
true. Yeah.
That's
Very,
kind
very
of
true.
like the theme of my entrepreneurial journey. It's just been like the logical next step
Yeah.
of what I've been learning. I just kind of show other people along the way.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's something I heard a long time ago. I think it was Rory Vaden from Brand Builders Group said like you're most powerfully positioned to serve the person you once were, right?
Yes.
You don't have to be way
Yes.
ahead of them. You can just be like a couple of steps ahead of them, right?
I think Jamie C, if you know who she is,
Okay.
she has a quote. She's an entrepreneur, but she always says you only need to be 10% ahead of
Mhm.
someone else in order to help them.
It's true. It's true. And I think that's something important to remember too, right? Like, especially like in all the mindset stuff, if it creeps in that you're like that imposter syndrome of like, what do I have to show somebody? What can I teach somebody? Well, we're all a little bit further ahead than someone else, right? Like
Hmm.
being a mom, being I don't know, all the things. And so you have something to share and teach someone. You just have to pay attention and figure out what it is.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's very easy to get lost in the sauce and you see online there's always someone out there doing something better
Yeah.
than you, making more money than you, more
Yeah.
successful, whatever it is. And what I've learned is people want to learn from you.
Mhm.
My business coach, for instance, she is not making the most amount of money ever. I could go hire the person I
Right.
don't know, making millions a month or whatever. But I really resonated with her and her
Mm,
values and her perspective on business and her morals. And it's so much about, and that's the beauty of building a personal brand is there's only one of you.
yes.
And so you just learn over time and you become more confident in yourself, knowing that people choose you not just for your accomplishments or,
Right.
yeah, I mean, you need to embody your transformation, but it's way more about who you are and
Yes.
them kind of aligning with you as a person.
Right, which is why there can be so many people teaching the same thing, right?
Yes.
It's because we do identify with different people and we connect with different people more.
Yeah, and that's one of the struggles I hear from beginners in particular over and over
Mm.
again. It's like, oh, I'm too late to the game or my industry's
Mm,
too saturated. Like, why would anyone want to buy from me? And that's very valid to think in the
right.
beginning, but that's just what you learn over time.
Yeah.
People want to learn from you.
Yeah. No, it's very, very true. Um, so I'm just curious, do you often see, so was it scary to go more deeply into ads when you created Atomic Ads, or were you good with that? You'd learned the things and it was okay to create it.
It was a little bit, it was a little bit scary. I mean, teaching something new in general, it's always a little bit intimidating
Right.
putting out a new offer because you're not sure, you don't know what you don't know. It's like,
Yes.
I don't, there is a side to ads in particular. I think if you don't market it properly, where people kind of think it's like a silver bullet. And
Yes.
I get a lot of the questions that are like, well, does this really work? And I'm like, I hate that question. Like, yes, I mean, it does work, but it's not a
There are
silver
so
bullet
many
for
variables.
business. So honestly, the hardest part of the ads course in particular wasn't necessarily putting it together. It was more so learning how to market it in a way that's going to attract the person who understands that it's not a
Mm,
silver bullet, it's not a magic pill. It is
mhm,
still work,
mhm.
but it's a really great tool to scale what's already working.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree with that because I do feel like, and I think sometimes as not all entrepreneurs, but some entrepreneurs are always like, oh, that person knows better than us, so I'm going to go do that. And it's
Mhm.
like, well, no, you still have to have your head in your own. Like, you need to know what that your product is something that your people want. Like, there's so many variables with running ads. When people say, well, is it going to work? It's like, well, is your product any good? Like,
Yeah. I'm like,
right?
what
Like,
kind of question is that?
yeah, yeah.
It's
No,
like
it's
a lot of
yeah, it's true, but I
into
feel
it.
like too, it's a valid question to some extent because there's people are seeing more ads now than they did before, so they're like, well, is this version going to work for me? Is it going to be different? Anyway, yeah, no, that's totally fair. So you are doing coaching, so like I noticed yeah, you do coaching. You have a group thing that you ran Freedom. Tell me what it was again.
Yes, I have a group program called Freedom CEO
Thank you.
Academy,
Yes.
and it's basically the next step for
Yeah.
people that want to really utilize smart systems, funnels, that also want to create. It's all about creating leverage in your business.
Mm.
So the tagline is like, build a six-figure business without the burnout. So I
Mm.
have girls in there, even some of them that aren't running ads per se, and just want to learn how to market their position and market their digital products better. I have a woman in there who is tired of the sales calls. She is actually switching to homeschooling her kids
Oh
this
wow.
fall. So she has like 12 hours a week to devote to her business.
Yeah.
It's funny. Business is like a mirror. I always attract people that are like very similar to
Yeah.
me, or that one of them is about to have a baby any day now. It's just funny the people that you attract. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
these are
Yeah.
like very parallel to a lot of my
Yeah.
stories. But yeah, that program is amazing. I just launched it a couple months ago, so it's
Yeah.
still fairly new, but it's all about creating leverage in your business, running your business like a CEO, and also refining your offer suite so that it's sellable and scalable And so we're not doing like all these one-on-one calls. We're not doing all the sales calls. Like that is also a big part of my journey too, becoming a mom. And wow, it is a very jarring for time. You're going to learn time management very quickly. And so
Yes.
I'm really glad that I created a lot of these systems, but even, I'm still learning how to
Mm.
scale my business in a way that's sustainable. And I'll just give a quick example. I had so many people reaching out to me from running that low ticket launch code that was wanting the funnel done for them. And
Mm.
so I was offering that as a service for a while, and that went really well, but I was the only one doing it. And I just didn't have the bandwidth. This was also like right when I was having my son. So I didn't have the bandwidth to think long term for this and
Yeah.
hire out a team that I knew could trust to do a good job. Like it was just a one woman show of me doing the funnels, and they take a lot of work. So I was like, man, I don't think this is the season for me to be directly putting my time for money in this
Yeah.
way. And
Yeah.
so I would love to eventually bring the funnels back and have like a VA or a couple team members that I know could do a good job, and then me just be more of the point person for that,
Right.
because it is such, I still have people in my DMs asking for
Of
funnels
course.
done for you. So I'd love to
Yeah.
bring that back. But that's just one example of being like, okay, I'm going to stop this. I even changed some of my private coaching around to only supporting clients 3 days a week instead of being available every day. Even
Hmm.
just little tweaks like that. And
Yeah.
I'm even almost about to just move my private clients into the group program and just scale that, because the more I get into it, I just keep simplifying everything and
Yeah.
refining
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, which sometimes takes time to learn, and then sometimes is most definitely life season, right? Like you
Yes.
mentioned, you have one person who's homeschooling. Well, I used to homeschool my kids. They're grown now, but I used to have like very minimal time to spend on any business stuff because that was the season. But now they're grown, and I suddenly find myself going, oh, I suddenly have lots of time. Like it's such a strange, like I don't even know what to do with myself because I'm like, wait, I have like all day every day aside from making lunch. Like what what is this? And so, but I remember the weeks like, yeah, so you really have to schedule or adjust based on your life season, right? And figure out what works for where you're at.
I love that word season, because I see a lot of people that have kind of the same business ethos as me talk a lot about balance, and I don't
Mm,
necessarily believe in balance. I don't really
no.
like that word, and I don't look at it that way. I just look as seasons. When I was putting together my group program, I had to record a ton of modules. I had a lot of work to do putting together the curriculum. That was a season that I had to be more in a building phase.
Right.
Now I'm in a little bit different of a season. But even with my son, he needed me a lot more those first 2 months. I mean, he still needs me a lot.
Yeah.
But now, he's almost 6 months. We get a little bit of part-time help. We have a nanny that comes to the house 15 hours a week. So I get
Yeah.
some deep work done and still some time to take calls and do
Yeah.
kind
So
of,
uninterrupted, right?
yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
uninterrupted. Or if I need to record things, I can't have
Yes.
him on my lap.
Yeah.
Even though for the most part, I'm really glad that I can still hang out with him and like post or check emails. There's
Yeah.
still so much flexibility. But yeah, it really is all about seasons
It is.
and deciding what needs to be a priority for this amount of time, or
Mm-hmm.
this month, or this
Mm-hmm.
couple of months. It's always going to be changing.
Because no matter what anybody says, we can't do it all the time. Like
Yeah.
there just are. Yeah, I like the word balance, and I like the idea of what I think it is, but it's more. It is really more about season and where you're at than this perfect balance of hours and time and even attention because it's not always balanced. It's just not. It can't be. There are different life seasons. I'm at an age where like my parents are getting older, so like my dad is sick, so like there are different things that come in, and you really just have to juggle things around and make things work. I also used to think like passive income is different than than people make it out to be, right? Like it's not, a course, something you put together. It's something you create, you spend time creating, and it's intense time creating it, like you said. But you
Yeah.
create it once, and then you don't have to do a lot with it again for a good long time. Like it might need revising at some point, but right, like I think that's more what I think of when I think of passive income is something that it's not time for dollars all the time. And I think you're really smart to be doing that with your group program.
Yeah, I struggle with marketing it as passive income
Yeah.
because there's really like no such thing as truly passive
No.
income. I guess you could be like a hard money lender or something, but there's probably something out there where it's just investing.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I struggle with that too because I don't want to bring in the wrong people that
Yeah.
don't acknowledge the work that goes
Yeah.
into it, but it's really just about working smarter, not harder. You know, how
Mm-hmm.
can you create leverage? How can you have those systems in place so when life is lifing as it
Yeah.
does, you're
Yes.
not worried. You're not worried like, oh, I didn't post today, so I'm not going to make any sales. You know,
Right.
I know that I have a baseline of income, even if my kid is sick for a couple of days, even if,
Yeah.
I can't be online
Yeah.
for a couple of days or a couple of weeks. Like I know that things are taken care of, and that's kind of the
Yeah.
point of
Yeah.
what I'm doing.
Yeah, and I love systems. Oh my gosh, seriously, the
Yes.
best thing ever, right? Like SOPs and systems, like the best thing, which is so nerdy and geeky and weirdly businessy, but like they really are like once you get them in place, they are such a good base to run your business from, like you said, regardless of what else is happening.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have a lot of, I'm big on mindset too and personal
Okay.
development. I can nerd out on that stuff all day. Part of the program is running your business like a CEO, but also
Mm.
having the correct mindset about things
Hmm.
too. Because I truly believe if you love your business and you are really passionate about what you're doing, and you are just like, if obsession and passion is the standard instead
Yeah.
of just mediocre or feeling
Yeah.
okay about
And
it,
apathy. Yeah.
there is a different flow. There is like a
Right.
creative, divine flow that happens when we're just in line, when everything is aligned. Like what we're
Hmm.
doing, who we say we are, and who we actually are when we follow our gut and do the offers that we're really excited about. It feels magical. Like there's an
Yeah.
energy to it. And
Yeah.
it just becomes so that's when you get all your downloads. Why do you think you get all your best ideas in the shower? Because your
Yes.
body's relaxed. You
You're all
have
chill.
time to think, you're not in like
It's
a
true.
stressed out state. Some of that
Yeah.
is nervous system, regulation and just the basic routines. Are you sleeping? Are you taking care of
Yeah.
your body? Like all of that plays into it. And so that's a big part of the program as well is learning how to tap into that energy and that flow and stay
Yeah.
regulated so that content isn't this thing at the end of the day where it just feels so heavy and
Draining.
hard and like, oh,
Yeah.
I don't know what to post.
Yeah.
Like you can create this content that's authentic, that's easy to create, that's fast. I can knock out. We actually just did a content lab in our program where we set a timer for 30 minutes all together on a Zoom. And I had some prompts and we just knocked out 15 pieces of content
Awesome. Yeah.
because it's like let's all get in this flow state to get together, bring your
Yeah.
coffee, bring your energy drinks, and like
Yeah.
let's make it fun.
Yeah.
And that's part of the point too is teaching people how to, it's not just the strategy, but it's teaching people how to show up with the right energy that just makes it fun. It makes it
Yeah.
light. You get things done faster. This is a creative industry. Like we
Yeah.
have to be giving that space for ourselves. There is a discipline to it, but there's also an energy to it that
Mhm.
we need in order
Yeah.
to be creative.
Yeah, and I love that. I love that you put that in as part of like your modules or your trainings because I feel like too, as women, you have a baby, your sleep gets interrupted. I'm perimenopausal, my sleep gets interrupted. Like we do have to sort of, I think we need to make sure that I don't want to like buzzwordy like self care and all that stuff, but like to go with the mindset stuff, yeah, there's work that has to be done in that space that
Mhm.
results in really great creativity if we remember to do it and not just check the things off the list that we technically have to do for our business, right?
Yes. That's
Yeah.
also why I love systems too,
Mm.
is as females too, like our hormones are up and down. And just like you said, there's nights where I barely get sleep, and there's nights
Yeah.
where I don't know if I'm really sleeping through the night yet, but he did
Yes,
sleep until 6 a.m.
I
this
get
morning.
it.
I was pretty
Yeah.
excited about that.
Yeah.
There are days where I have a lot of energy, and there are days
Hmm.
where I feel like a zombie.
Yeah.
and that is just life.
Yeah.
So I really maximize the time. I have these systems that are always running, but when I'm feeling that energy and I have those days, or I'm in like my luteal phase instead of like on my period or whatever it is, you can take
Yeah.
it to your cycle too.
Yeah.
Of,
Yeah.
of like,
It's a little
okay, I
trickier
have
as you
this
get older, let me tell
energy.
you.
Yeah. Let
Not so
me
predictable anymore.
yeah, right. Like, okay, I'm going to
It's true.
maximize this time.
Yeah.
Let me like batch some content. Let me
Yes.
do my makeup and get some reels
Yes.
done. Like
Yes.
just playing into, because I do think as females we have to approach business a little bit differently
I
than
think we
men.
do.
So
Yeah.
having some of the masculine already set in place as a
Hmm.
structure, we can lean into a little bit more of our feminine side and
Yeah.
be more creative and um, go with the flow, so to speak, when it comes to
Yes,
productivity.
it's true. Because there are days where like the energy is so, so high, and there's days where I'm like, I'm gonna sit and stare at the wall for a while. Like it's just, and those times aren't always bad either, because those are like mind wandering, and some great ideas sometimes come from that. Sometimes not so much, but yeah, I think that's really important, and I love that you've made that part of your mastermind.
It's really
Um,
hard as a business owner to, because
yeah,
you always feel the need to show up. It's like the work is never
yes,
done,
yeah,
especially online. So I have a hard rule. So my husband and I basically take Saturday as like our Sabbath, and we
mhm,
don't post. And he
okay,
doesn't take clients. He's in real estate, so he doesn't
okay.
take clients. I don't post. I let my stories run out. Like I have some boundaries too in my
Good.
business, and that's another thing as for all your business owners out there listening to
Yeah.
this, like set some boundaries for yourself. You don't have to just ascribe to the belief that like you have to show up 24/7.
Yeah.
Like yes, show up 6 out of the 7 days, but rest and
Give
unplug
yourself
too
a
and
rest.
get off that app and go touch some grass or
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever you need to
Right?
do to reset.
Yeah. No, so, so important, because it's so easy, especially like you said, with online business, or even if you're not an online business person, but are connected 24/7. Like it's so easy to just sort of be there, be online all the time. And it's like, no, no, you really need that rest, that break to stop
Yes.
taking it in and putting out stuff, right? You just, yeah, touch the grass, sit under
Yes.
a tree, do something like that. Okay, so what is it? You talked a little bit about the nanny here. So what is I think we covered this. Like your days look different from day to day,
Very
right? Like,
different. Yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. There's no constant. Is anything constantly the same? Like, does your day start the same or end the same, or is it just really in flux right now?
Um, well, I always like non-negotiable try to have quiet time in the morning. Like
Mm-hmm.
meditate, pray, I'll journal, I'll read my Bible,
Yeah.
and just get in that state of like, I need to zoom out and I have so much to be grateful for.
Right.
And that's my way of starting the day with gratitude and starting. I really think if you approach your business staying connected to your purpose,
Mm-hmm.
you you don't worry about the day-to-day up and downs, or if no one DM'd you that day or if you made a big sale today, like you're not as affected by the up and downs and it doesn't mean
Yeah.
anything about your self-worth. So I try to connect to that every single morning just to start the day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in terms of our nanny, so I have part-time help, but it's been all over the place. It
Yeah.
started as Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but she also has another part-time job, so her schedule
Mm-hmm.
is just here and there. So we've had to be really flexible with the days that she can come. So the days that she's here, she's not here for like a full 8 hours, but she'll be here for like 4 to 6 hours, 3 days a week. So those
Right.
are my non-negotiable. Like I have to prioritize, okay, that's the time I'm going to record this. Or like, what are the things that I cannot do with the baby around? That I
Right.
need to do in total silence or total focus. That is what I prioritize to get done during that time.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest of the day is just fitting in what didn't get done
Yeah.
during that time.
Yeah.
And I am a very type B mom, so he is not on a nap. He just sleeps when he sleeps.
Okay.
And his
Yeah.
naps are, I mean, he's still
He's only
little.
6 months
So,
old.
yeah, so
Yeah.
sometimes
Yeah.
he's sleeping 30 minutes, sometimes it's a couple hours. I have been very flexible to just wait. I try to just be present with him, wait till his
Mm-hmm.
nap time, and then like hurry and get
Yeah.
some things done. But I've
Yeah.
really narrowed. my business down to, and I call this like the needle moving activities. So what are the income generating activities?
Mm-hmm.
So that's getting a post in, typically sending out an email. I always try to do a daily email, and then a couple stories. And
Right.
that's the like non-negotiable thing that I
Mm-hmm.
get done. And then if I know I have childcare for one day, that's going to be my project day. And that's when
Okay.
I get to focus on my business. So record
Mm-hmm.
some new trainings, or you know, launch that
Right.
new offer, tweak my ads, whatever it is.
Right.
I
Yeah.
kind of use that time as like CEO day just to
Yeah.
focus on my
Yeah.
projects. But
No,
it
that
really
sounds
just depends. And my husband has a very different schedule too, because he's out with clients some days,
right.
he's at home some days. So it is great. I do have him helping out here and there throughout the day when he can, but I'm kind of the default
Right.
caretaker.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's good. It sounds like you sort of found a good rhythm,
Hmm.
sort of for where things are at.
We always do a walk at night to
Mm-hmm.
end the
No, that's
day.
good.
Well, we have
That's
two
really good.
Australian shepherds, so they're pretty active, so we're always
They
out
need
out
that.
and about walking.
Yeah. 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 No, that's so good. Okay. So, um, we only have a couple minutes. So, what are you super excited about right now with regards to your business? Like, is there anything coming next that you're super excited about? You don't have to share details if it's not like widely known or anything, but like, what are you excited about?
Yeah, I'm super excited. So I have not launched a new offer in a while. Well, I launched my group program, but I'm all about simplicity, but I'm
Yeah.
also all about just kind of, you know, running with a wild idea that you have.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I'm hosting a workshop at the end of the month called Keyword Crazy. So it's how to get people to comment the keyword on your reels, and that's how
Okay.
you get more leads, more sales,
Nice.
how to actually structure your reels in a way that people are going to stop the scroll, see, hear what you have to say, and comment the keyword. You can use this for a freebie or your digital products,
Okay.
because if people can master that, they
Mm-hmm.
can run those as ads. I
True.
really
Yeah.
wanted to step back and teach the foundations of content and do some deeper trainings on that. So that's coming up at the end of the month. I'm really excited about that.
Very cool.
And beyond that, I'm just really refining my group program and kind of making that the best that it can be, probably for the end of the year. But I
Yeah.
might do a few other workshops. But
Yeah.
Keyword Crazy, if you guys want to join, it's literally $27. It's like the
Yeah.
price of lunch, and you get to just do a deep dive. And I'll give you all my many chat flows that I use, because a lot of it is how you structure things on the back end so you're not letting leads
Mm.
die in your inbox. So I'll teach the many chat flows, I'll teach hooks, prompts, give you custom prompts for your business, and just show you how to create good content that people want to engage with.
Okay. And that runs when? At the end of
That is
August?
going to be August 26th through 28th.
Okay. So right at the very end. Okay.
Yes.
Cool. So, okay, where can people go to learn more about you, get your stuff, work with you? What's the best way for them to connect with you?
Best way is just to go to my Instagram and DM me on there. It's at Brit, Brit underscore Ray, Rhea. I know my names have to be, both of them have to be spelled out or people get it wrong.
That's okay.
But
My second one does too, all the
yes,
time.
that is where you can find me. You can DM me and work with me through there.
Cool.
I
I'll
also
make sure
have
I put.
TikTok too, but it's a little easier to navigate the DMs in Instagram.
Yeah, that's true. So I will put all that in the show notes and make sure that that gets put in there. Very
Perfect.
cool. Thank you, Britt, for coming on today. It's been fun
Thank you
talking with
so
you.
much for having me. This was so fun. And I love what you're doing, and just
Thank you.
so uplifting to other female entrepreneurs.
Thank
So
you.
thank you so
Right
much
back at ya.
for creating the space.
Yeah, no, thank you. That's it for today on the Shannon Acheson Show. If you found this helpful, follow the show and share it with a friend. And hey, if you're not sure what kind of business actually fits your life, take the free quiz at shannonatchison.com. It'll point you in the right direction. Thanks for listening. Talk again soon.